Hey, welcome back to another YouTube video by Florida Man Ventures. In this video, I will be targeting peacock bass. This is the location where I will be fishing. It's a huge canal that stretches for many miles. For peacock bass, I'll be using live bait. In particular, I'll be using some shiners, and you can see them here. They're very lively. I have an aerator on to keep them lasting longer. Some of them are quite large, as you can see. And my fishing rod for choice is a 6-foot rod with a Abu Garcia reel. I'm using braided line. It's rated at 12 pounds, and I'm using a size 2 circle hook without any weights. So it's just a string and a hook. So let's get catching, guys. So here I am hooking on the first shiner. Make sure the mouth is open, and then you hook it through the top of the head. And I'm taking my first cast here. With live bait, it's really simple. You just leave it and the fish does all the work, and you can see I already have a bite. These peacock basses are predators, so if they see a twitching fish, they will go for it. It's pulling up a decent fight. And you can see it's quite large. This one weighed in, I would guess, around a pound, maybe 2 pounds. You can see the very pretty colors, the orange, the green, the yellow. And you can see the circle hook just barely hooked it right at the corner of the mouth. Just barely. And you can see how easily it comes off. And this one is a male peacock bass, and you can tell with the hump on its head. Males would typically have a hump during spawning season. So this one I'm letting go. Here's another one, and I have lost a lot of bait. Sometimes I try to set the hook too early and I end up missing the fish. So here's an example. You can see I casted it out, and to me it felt like I had a bite, but as I was reeling and trying to set the hook, I missed it, and the fish actually took my bait. These shiners can be very slippery, so it's hard to grab onto them, but you want to have a solid grip and make sure you secure the hook onto it nicely, because otherwise it will slip right off. I tried various variations of hooking the fish through the top of the head versus the bottom towards the gills, and I don't know, both of them seem to work. Sometimes they would slip off quickly when I would hook them to the bottom of the fish, because the head is much thicker. So here I was able to hook onto another fish. I believe it's another peacock bass. And yeah, peacocks pull up a decent fight. It's another nice large peacock. These are such pretty fishes. The orange on the bottom, the green, the gold, very nice. And you can see the marking on the bottom of the tail. I'm getting ready to cast it again. This is a pretty large minnow here. Not a minnow, a shiner. Let's see if I can catch anything. And yeah, I believe this was the last peacock for the day. I was only able to catch like 3 peacocks with my 12 shiners. A lot of them, the fish was able to outsmart me, unfortunately, and take it away. But I was happy with 3. Here's another nice big peacock. And I'm grabbing them by the gills because when I first went fishing, I would grab them to the mouth, and they have small teeth on the inner lip, and that can shred up your skin. So I just grab them by the gills gently so I don't damage anything, so that I can release them nicely. But you can see the hook set again just by the edge of the mouth, barely, and it comes off really simply. This is another male peacock bass. Again, the hump. Eventually, when the sun's going down, I wasn't expecting to catch a largemouth bass, but I was able to hook onto a largemouth bass here on my shiner. Usually I catch largemouth bass on plastic worms, but they'll go for these live shiners as well. But here's a nice bass, a largemouth bass. And just like that, we are here at the last shiner, and this one was the biggest one I've had, so I saved it for last, and this thing was a monster. They're very slippery, as you saw. It kept slipping out of my hands. And the head was very thick. I was having a hard time putting the hook on. You can see it's really large. With this one, I did get a few nibbles. The fishes were interested in it, but I couldn't hook onto anything. So eventually I cut up that shiner and I put half of it on the hook in the hopes of catching a catfish. So here's my catfish setup. It's on the same size 2 hook, circle hook. And eventually I did get a bite, but it's not what you or I expected. Whatever was pulling at the end of my rod, it was very heavy. It kept pulling my drag, and it put up a really good fight. I was excited because I thought I hooked onto a large catfish, but as you'll soon see, it's not a catfish at all. You can barely make it out, it's still in the water, but it is a Florida soft shell turtle. And these guys are edible, but I would never eat a turtle. I've seen other videos of fishermen, targeting these soft-shell turtles, and apparently they're very tasty, but I just can't bring myself to hunt turtles. But yeah, this turtle was kept when I would bring it up close to the shore, it would keep swimming away from it, and it was pretty heavy. If I didn't have braided line, I'm sure my line would have ripped. I think at this point I realized that I can't drag it up, so I believe I eventually go down to the edge of the water. I was able to luckily flip it on its back, and this immobilized the turtle so it wouldn't thrash around as much. When it's on their back, they can't generate any force to run away, so it's just hanging out there. And then I run off to get some pliers because at this point I didn't know it was a soft shell turtle. I didn't know it was a soft shell turtle. I thought it could have been a snapping turtle, and those turtles can take your finger off. So I run to get my pliers because I didn't want to lose a finger. As I get closer to it, I can see that this turtle resembles more of a soft shell turtle versus a snapping turtle. So I was a little bit more comfortable dealing with it. But still, it's a nasty bite, so you gotta be careful. I bring it up to the shore on the grass to get a better look at it. This turtle smelled really bad. Like, I don't know what it was, but it smelled like rubbery and wet. It was not a pleasant smell. Right here you can see the tail, the back foot, and the front, the flippers, and the mouth. It was pretty difficult getting the hook out. That thing swallowed that thing really deep, so unfortunately I had to cut the line off in hopes that somehow the hook gets dislodged over time. But it's a very beautiful species. I didn't want to throw it from up here, so I make my way down so that I can release it gently into the water. Because the poor guy has like a hook in its mouth, and, you know. Now it's nighttime, and a friend of mine comes to visit me, and I let him fish with my rod for a while, and he managed to hook onto another largemouth bass that you can see here. This is the last fish of the day. I appreciate all of you guys watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.
Catch and release,
Thank you.
baby.